You don't think any team in this region can take down Duke, correct?
I do not. Like, Duke would have to play like an F- game, I think, to lose to one of these teams in this region. Like, this is a really, really nice setup for the Blue Devils.
I agree. Duke is currently minus 130 to win the region. Is that a price
value
that you think is worth? So you think that's a price worth laying on Duke?
Yes. Like, I bet some minus 120 earlier today. Like, I honestly think they should be like minus 200 to win their region. Like, I think they're head and shoulders above everyone else, and even beyond then. Like, they're that much better. As long as this Flagg thing is not, like, crazy, but even then, they should be able to at least get to the second weekend without Flagg. You would anticipate that he's going to be there for the Sweet 16 and beyond. So I like Duke, and, like, if you make this bet now, like, if you get a little bit nervous because Flagg is a little bit uncertain heading into Newark, then maybe you can hedge it and do some things if that's really how you want to do it from a risk assessment standpoint. But I think this is a bet to make today. I think Duke is a really, really nice path, and the price is very short.
All right, so we're in agreement on that. I've been saying Duke since November, so you know I like Duke to make the Final Four. So we'll skip Duke's first round game because we don't know who they're playing, either American or Mount St. Mary's. Let's go to the 8-9 matchup. Yes, I mean, if they don't, it would almost be funny. If not for the fact that I'd be poor, it would be really funny.
A lot of crow would be consumed. Yeah.
Yes, thank God Rory. I'll just say thank God Rory won today. Thank God Russell Henley won last week. 8-9 matchup. So Duke presumably play the winner of this game. And we've seen the favorite flip here. Baylor was a 1.5-point favorite last night against Mississippi State. Now it's flipped, and Mississippi State a 1.5-point favorite. Femi basically picked the winner of the game. Total has been bet down a few points to 144.5. Anything in the 8-9 matchup in this East region, I don't anticipate having a bet. But I guess you're going to like Baylor, right? Based on the way you handicapped the SEC earlier.
100%. During the break, I bet Baylor money line. Like, this has got out to like about plus 115 on the money line for Baylor. It is a coin flip game, and like conference affiliations aside, in coin flip games you get plus 115. I think that's always a good bet to make just in general. But now with the angle that I'm playing with the SEC, I think a little bit overrated just by association with those top tier teams. I think we're going to see some of these middle tier guys struggle a little bit. So I like Baylor to advance, and I like Baylor on the money line. So that's the bet that I made.
All right, let's keep moving here. 5-12. I have no opinion on the game. You know what? I'll probably tail you on some of this anti-SEC stuff. So I don't have a strong opinion, but you like Baylor, and I want to have some action, so I'll have a small bet on Baylor. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go. Sick 'em, right?
Well, yeah. Although Baylor's in Texas, yeah. But sick 'em Bears. Let's go.
Sick 'em. Oh, wait, what did you say? What was the first thing you said?
I said the North because we're anti-SEC. Like, because like you're from New York, I'm from Washington, but we're betting on a team from Texas.
I like you think you're from the North because you're from Washington State.
Bro.
That's not how this works.
I'm like 3 hours from Canada. That is exactly the North.
You're on. This is how. See, I'm gonna give you a geography lesson. You're
okay.
from the West.
I'm curious to hear this one.
You're from the West Coast. I'm from the North.
Buddy, I can see Vancouver from my backyard. All right.
But that's look, for people that talk about East Coast bias. There is one. I'm from the capital of the free world. Where are you from in Washington State?
Just
Pullman?
north of
Where
Seattle.
are you from?
What's the name? Pullman. Everett.
What's the name of the town? Everett. I'm from New York City. You're from Everett, Washington. I'm from the North,
EVT,
okay?
baby.
Yeah, you're from the West Coast. That's where Washington's on the West Coast with a bunch of other places.
How many times have been in Canada, buddy?
I'm from the North.
We practically the North.
Yeah, well, and like Washington will be one of the states, and maybe Canada will at some point as well. Oregon and Liberty is the 5-12 matchup. Now, you like Oregon a lot. Now, I think probably, unfortunately for you, right, you would have liked to see Oregon land in a different region with a different one seed. Dana Altman and the Ducks have been bet out from 5.5 to 6.5 against the Flames of Liberty. Again, RIP Greg Gumbel. Total 139.5. Oregon, Liberty. Anything in this game for you? 5-12 in the East.
This market's going crazy, actually, while we speak. Like, this is now 7 in a lot of places, Nick, and I'm actually seeing at a pretty prominent domestic sportsbook, 7.5 minus 105. So, like, if you like Oregon, BetMGM is your home to bet Oregon if you want to lay that 6.5, because there's even a 7.5 out there, but 7 is the consensus number. I get it. Like, I'm as big a Dana Altman fan as the next person, but, like, I don't think we're getting a ton of value here from a betting standpoint, so I'm passing the game. I'm rooting for Oregon to win it just because I have that Oregon to make the Final Four futures bet. But, yeah, I don't think there's really a whole lot to do here. And if anything, maybe it's actually wait to bet Liberty at the last second because at some point there has to be some value on the Flames. Because like, yeah, this is getting out to be a little bit crazy.
I don't have a strong betting opinion on this game. When we get to I don't have like a ton on this region, honestly. Like I love VCU.
Yeah, it's a weird region.
I like Arizona a little bit, so I think Oregon's going to win. Are they going to cover the spread? I'm not sure. Maybe someone can talk me into something over the course of the next couple days. Next will be Arizona and Akron. This line is held steady. Arizona got bet a little bit last night, and the only reason I know this is because like I was doing the show with Brad last night, so I was looking at open, 13.5 out to 14.5. Just to say this, and I said it last night too, just because the line moved from open on Sunday night into Monday is not a reason to make a bet. I just think it's interesting and trying to provide context to people. So me saying Arizona got bet is not a reason for everyone to go, oh my God, I need to bet Arizona. But just saying, I think that's a little interesting, right? Just that the first move was sometimes the first move is towards the dog. We'll get to some of those games, like Kentucky against Troy, either today or tomorrow. But the first move in this game, Femi, was towards the favorite. Arizona, a 14.5-point favorite against Akron. Total, 166.5. Thoughts here on Arizona and Akron?
Yeah, this is a tricky one because you want to talk about tournament coaches and their profiles. I mean, Tommy Lloyd doesn't have a great profile. He's had some incredibly talented Arizona teams. Last year, they were incredibly talented. They lose to Clemson. Years prior,
at least they made
lose
the
to
Sweet
Houston.
16, though, and didn't lose in the first round.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, he also has lost to Princeton on his resume as well in the first round. So, like, he'll do it. Like, it's not beyond him to go out there and lose to a 15 seed or higher, and this is not even that high of a seed. But I just don't feel comfortable laying that kind of number with him, but also like I don't really like love betting Akron either in this spot. So I'm just passing this game. I mean, Arizona, I'm sure will have the fans since it's a West Coast game up in Seattle. So like they'll probably have more Wildcat fans there than Akron fans, but no, you're not going to get me laying double digits, not with Tommy Lloyd, even though they're playing an inferior opponent.
Yeah, Arizona, I think, is going to end up being a bet for me here. Akron got really hot at the end of the regular season into conference tournament play. I think this is going to be a walkover here for Arizona. And I think we're going to get and pour one out for the Pac-12. Oregon of the Big Ten and Arizona of the Big 12 in the second round.
Oh, baby. That's where I show up.
Yeah, that's like the official game of Everett, Washington.
Hey, the game will be played in Seattle, buddy, about like 25 minutes from where I grew up.
Love it. Okay, that's the top half of the East region. You bet on this Monday. BYU and VCU. Now, this game's going to be played at altitude. Some people are making the case that it benefits BYU, and I certainly understand. VCU also won its conference tournament, played a lot of games. Initial betting move here, Femi, was towards VCU. Opened 3.5, went down to 2.5. I believe we're sitting 3 now. Mike has it on the screen. So we're back at 3.5, but it's juiced towards VCU. Total 146.5. This total's been bet up 3 points from open. I bet VCU last night, plus 3.5, minus 110. It's one of the first bets I made. I was looking to bet against BYU, a team that really got hot at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. VCU's been great basically the whole year. It ran the A-10 all year, won the A-10 regular season, won the A-10 conference tournament. So I took the points with VCU, and I think VCU will win the game as well. And I'll have VCU in my bracket. Anything for you with BYU and VCU?
Yeah, nothing for me with this one. I am curious, though, with Kevin Young, the head coach of BYU. It's his first year. He came over from the NBA. He was a Phoenix Suns assistant coach. That's why they're getting the AJ DeBonste kid or whatever, since he idolizes Kevin Durant. That's why they're going to get him next year, the top recruit in the country. But he's an NBA guy, so this is his first go at it from a tournament. So it's not the Mark Pope BYU teams that always came up short. So I'm curious to see how they do in this one, but I would probably be on your side as well. Like these teams that get super hot late, they usually are more fool's gold than like they're actually gold. So I would look towards the VCU side, but no real like strong opinion for me. So I'm going to pass it. Oh, I think Nick was frozen there for a little bit there, but yeah, that's BYU and VCU. The next game for us here in this bracket for this region here in the East, I believe is where we're hanging out. Yes, that's the Eastern region, which I don't have a lot of bets in, is Wisconsin and Montana. So Wisconsin and Montana right now, Wisconsin 17-point favorite in this game right now as we played over at Ball Arena. Total sitting at 151.5. Montana, of course, won the Big Sky Championship, beating Northern Colorado in that one. But there's been a lot of money coming in on Montana. Travis DeCour has done a lot there. I believe we do have Nick back. But Travis DeCour, I was just talking about this Montana-Wisconsin game, sort of setting this one up while you were away there. Montana's been to many tournaments, but they really don't do a ton. And this is a different Wisconsin team to where if I had to bet, I think I'd be on the Badgers side more so than anything than the Montana side, Nick.
That was so when that happens, sometimes I feel like everything crashes. I think my internet actually crashed just now for the first time in like a year.
Oh, I mean, shoot, it's like every other day for me. Like, the internet will just
but your internet
2 seconds. Yeah,
your internet will blip. I think that this was just like
you're just like shut down.
Just we want to make sure that the video quality is going to be good. Mike, do you want me to log out and like do something here? Do we want to stick with this? Just someone tell us what to do, please, and we will do it. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking. Okay, I'm going to keep talking.
I guess keep talking.
So you were talking about Wisconsin against Montana, and what was your betting thought on this game in the 3-14 matchup in the East?
Yeah, if anything, I would lay the number with Wisconsin just because, like, this is like a more up-tempo Wisconsin team that I think that, like, defensively they're still solid, but offensively they're more likely to cover a number like this just because they're not playing the slow brand of basketball, even though Montana has a lot of experience of making to the tournament. Travis DeCour has been great at Montana, but they don't really win these games, nor keep them close for that matter. So it would be the Badgers or pass for me, but probably pass unless we get a better number than 16.5.
You like Wisconsin to win the game and advance to the second round?
Yeah, I'm advancing Wisconsin.
So let's move down now to the bottom the bottom couple games here in the East region. St. Mary's and Vandy. I'm guessing you're gonna like St. Mary's, even though St. Mary's like never really a good tournament team. It feels like under Randy Bennett. Well, unless they're playing like a mid-tier SEC team, which they are playing here in Vanderbilt. The Gales 3.5-point favorites. So the initial betting move here, Femi, towards Vandy. This was 4.5 last night, now 3.5, 136.5 the total. And we can pair this with Alabama. This line has remained stable. The Tide, 22.5-point favorites against Robert Morris. Total also hasn't moved from last night, 165.5. 7, 10, and 215 matchups in the East region.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if we can get a better number on St. Mary's, but I would be more on the St. Mary's side than the Vanderbilt side, given my theory that I have about the SEC. If we get to 3.5 or 3, and there's a couple 3.5s out there, I would bet St. Mary's, but 4 is still the consensus. But 3 is really the number that I want to bet since they play at a slower pace there. I want to at least have to be able to lay a possession versus multiple possessions. Robert Morris, Alabama. I don't think Robert Morris has the horses to compete. I mean, like Alabama, they could lose to anybody if they don't make their threes. I don't think I'm not going to force it. I don't think this is the spot to fade Alabama, so I'm passing that game. But very interested in St. Mary's at the right number. Looking for 3, but even 3.5 at close. I'd probably bet that as well on the Gales.
If Duke were to lose, and I don't have action on either of these games that we just talked about, I kind of want to bet Vandy, but I'm going to ride with you on fading these SEC teams, then I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Like I said, I don't have a ton in this region right now in terms of game-by-game bets.
Tricky region.
If Duke were to lose, who do you think gets them? It has to be Alabama, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. Bama's the team that has the upside.
If Bama plays 60%. An A+ game and Duke plays like a C+, like Bama's got dudes. Like Bama could be, I don't think it's going to happen, but Bama could beat Duke. Like it's possible.
I've said on this show that the Bama could beat the Lakers, like on the right shooting day. And obviously that's like hyperbole, but like on any given day, if they shoot like 55, 60% from 3 and they're going to chuck a ton of them, they can definitely beat Duke. That's the run out that you need though to beat Duke. It has to be some sort of like out of body experience from 3-point range.
Do you have, I know you haven't filled your bracket out yet. I haven't either. Who do you think Duke plays in the Elite Eight?
Ooh, good question. I think it's Wisconsin. I think the Badgers get there.